I'm so excited to talk about this one. This is so interesting to me, and I'm learning about it for the first time. Right there on your hat, Cornbread Mafia. So I want to start with you guys back here. Like, how did you get this to the story? What was your access point? And what made you be like, we got to tell this in a documentary form?
I'm originally from Kentucky. My mom's from Marion County, where these guys are from.
Oh, so it's like known there, like a... In
the state, I feel like everybody grew up hearing about the Cornbread Mafia. No one really quite understood it. And but outside of the state, not much is known. But I feel like it's something... If you grew up in Kentucky and you're into cannabis at all, you've heard of the Cornbread Mafia. And Joe Keith actually introduced Drew and I here because we were both interested in pursuing a story on this. And we teamed up, and the rest is history, I guess. Where did the term Cornbread Mafia come from? Because I'll be honest, I've been wanting cornbread ever since I've heard the title.
Well, there's several versions of how that term come about. And my version of it is it occurred back in 1978. There was we were growing some marijuana down in
here for you, apparently.
We were growing some marijuana down in Nelson County, and the Nelson County Sheriff's Department busted. We had 3 crops down there. I call them crops. These were fields, and 2 of them got busted by the Nelson County Police Department or the Sheriff's Department. There was but one crop left, and they come in and they busted a number of us. And they were going to get that 3rd crop, so they locked up all the partners. And while they were in jail, we learned that they wasn't going to cut this big field of marijuana down. When the guys got out of jail, they were saying, "Hey, look, the Sheriff's Department is going to watch the Muhammad Ali, I forget what it was,
Leon
Spinks fighting." And so we devised a plan to go back in and cut that crop down ourselves and sneak it out right underneath the police's nose. But one of the guys at that time said, when we were all conspiring and figuring out what to do, he said, "What we got here is our own little cornbread mafia." And that's where that term started with. And there's various versions of it. The feds claimed it occurred in '89, but as everyone here can attest, it happened way before that. They kind of it come out that the feds labeled us that, but that's not true. This is the story that we tell in this documentary is the true story of how that term come about.
Okay, so tell me how you all met, and just like a little bit about who you are.
Well, we all grew up together. Bob Joe can tell you that.
Yeah.
We all went to the same high school, and Jimmy's a little younger than me and Joe Keith, but me and Joe Keith I graduated a year before him. It's a small rural community, so, everybody knows everybody, from the mayor to the governor, whatever.
These 2 are brothers. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, well, you have the same beautiful blue eyes. So.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yes. What is going to be explored within this documentary for people who haven't seen it or are going to see it? What are some of the highlights we can look forward to? What's the crazy? Give me the crazy shit. What's going on? Give me the stories.
There's a hell of a lot of it.
Yeah, tell me one, like your favorite. Tell me one.
What's yours, Jimmy?
I don't know.
Come on.
Let's see here.
Tell them about your lion cub.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
We got a lion owner right here.
Tell them about it, Bubby.
Let's see, about him day.
About the lions?
Well, how'd you come about those? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went to buy a herd of cattle, and
He was on the run.
I was on the run, but I was growing a dope crop out west, and I went to buy some cattle, and the guy wasn't there when I got there. I was waiting for him to get there, and I walked around. I looked in a corn crib, and he had a big cougar in there, live cougar. So I said, "Damn, that's cool there. I'd like to have one of them cats." And he comes back, and long story short, I didn't buy the cattle, didn't buy his cat, but he gave me the name of the guy that sold African lions. So I went down to central Kansas and bought 2 lions that day, and then he had a bear running around. I said, "I'd like to have a bear too." And so I ended up going back later and buying the bear. And then I bought 2 more lions later on.
What?
They was African lions.
That's crazy. I thought you were saying tell them about the lines. And I was like, oh, what are those?
It was related. The stories are related.
Literal
the
lions.
lines of cocaine and the purchase of the
Plenty
lions.
of lions.
I see.
Well,
Probably the lines of cocaine influenced the purchase of the lions.
The kicker on that story is that At that time, Bobby Joe was on the run from a federal case in Savannah, Georgia. And he was convicted, and he was supposed to report to the Marshal Service. Well, he had different ideas. He decided that he didn't want to turn himself in and serve time on a federal case. So he went to Kansas, set up a big grow operation, and in the process, that's when he decided he needed a few lions and a bear, Not as guards or anything, like a guard dog or anything. He just wanted to buy some lion cubs. So that's how that started. We had a huge grow operation out there. How many plants was out there? 60,000? No.
Yeah, more than less than what they said. They said 74,000 or something.
74,000 plants on 6 different counties out there.
But then when they end up getting busted, and there's these farms in Kansas that got busted, and the farms in Kentucky, Bobby Joe had given one of those lion cubs to Jimmy Bickett. So the prosecutors were trying to connect these farms and show this large conspiracy by connecting these lion cubs that were now in multiple states to help show the size of this organization.
The lions were the part of the downfall?
Could have been.
So Bobby Joe gives me a female lion, so she's kind of like most women. They're kind of overacting all the time, cutting up. And so I decided to drive to Kansas and trade it off for a male lion. So we go out there to Kansas and we look at the patches and go through that, Rocky Mountains, and we got our old ladies, or whatever you want to call them, with us. So we come, I get a male lion, I go back home. So here comes the federal game wardens in one day with some DEA or something, and so I try to get away. Of course, I don't get away from them. And they said, "You got a lion cub down your house?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Let's go look at it." So we went down there. And, "Where'd you get it at?" I said, "I bought from some guy coming through town there." Of course, I'd got it out to Kansas, And they said, "You didn't get it for sure?" I said, "No." "What are you talking about?" I said, "No." So they asked me about 10 times while they had me under arrest in the house about the lion. Who'd you get it from? What did he look like? What was he driving? And I told him it was a bullshit story. And to this, we ended up, so anyway, they take my lion to federal game wardens, and what they really come down there for, you just federal game warden, the reason to get into my house was about the lion, but they're looking for him. He was on the run, That's what so I used that federal game warden to get in my house about the lion to see if they could find Shewmaker down there. But
they had discovered the lions on Bobby Joe's farms out there. But after that went down, they found out, the DEA did, that Jimmy Bickett also had a lion cub. So they wanted to tie the two things together. That's what it was. Yeah. One was on the distribution end, which is in Kentucky. The grow operation was in Kansas. And so to tie that conspiracy together, they were trying to use lion cubs that he had and the one he had in Kentucky, the ones he had in Kansas and the one...
And the lion cubs wasn't even related.
Yeah, they tried to say during our trial that this lion had to come from Kansas, where they found on the patch out there the lions and bears, but the judge didn't go along with it because it's supposed to have a tattoo in its lip or something, exotic animals. So I slid through that one there.
Come from,
I want to drink with y'all. Yeah, I want you guys to be my uncles so I can sit around and just hear these stories like all the time. That is an amazing taste of what's to come in this documentary. Congratulations. Thank you so much for stopping by. And enjoy the South by Southwest. Thank you.